Hello guys, this is Student Investor. In today's video I'm going to be talking about something about AMP that is not really floating around in the community that I would just like to touch upon, because AMP has been growing very rapidly lately, and I recently just staked over some AMP to the Flexi Capacity Network, and I'm looking at the Reddit of the AMP subreddit, and people are starting to speculate down there, and the coin has just been rising and everything has just been happening with AMP, and we've finally touched a new high. We've seen AMP go to around $7, or around, not $7, 7 cents, 8 cents this past week. So it is on the uptrend for sure, and it is starting to climb and do its normal thing. We are seeing a little bit more volatility, and I just really believe that's just because AMP is now on Coinbase and it's tradable over there, so it's not just on Gemini, and we're starting to see a lot more volume come in and a lot more new money. But here's one thing about AMP that I think people are just missing on, and they don't really truly understand the value of something like this. And I just want to get into the minds of the people that invest in AMP, and or so for me, because this is my philosophy of why I am deeply invested in AMP and why I will continue to add AMP to my portfolio over the coming years, over the coming months, over the coming weeks, every time I can. And here it is. It's just regulation, right? I do in-depth analysis on stocks. I like to do in-depth analysis on cryptocurrencies as well, because that's how you could really tell where you're going to get the best bang for your buck when you invest. And I did this with Apple, so if you want to go see my Apple video about why I invested five grand in Apple options, go watch my other video that's on my channel. But it's regulation, guys. The reason why AMP is so powerful is because of regulation. And what do I mean by regulation? I mean, AMP assumes all the risks that businesses have when it comes to transactional systems, when it comes to accepting cryptocurrency. The reason that is because AMP handles all of that. AMP is required to get the licensure required to become a transactional system that allows transactions to be done in cryptocurrencies. And the best part is that the businesses get paid in fiat. The businesses get paid in normal paper money. They get paid in USD. So that means on the business side, right, they don't have to worry about no crypto regulation that might destroy them, and they might have to atone to these new regulations and get licensure, and then hire new lawyers, and it's just a mess if it were to be like that. But AMP is the middleman. It takes all of the risk, and it just provides a very good service that I don't think businesses could replicate. We've seen news that Amazon is hiring a blockchain developer, whether that be for crypto payments, we don't know, but something like AMP is already on the market, and it's adaptable in any sense. It could be for online businesses, e-commerce, point of sales systems, so it just works out. But regulation is what's really going to determine whether or not a crypto would succeed. But AMP is not a cryptocurrency in the sense that it's spendable. It's more of something, it's a tech that just works in the background that allows cryptos to be digested in a way where it spits back out the equivalent in US dollar. And the reason why that's so important is because, yet again, if we're going to live in a digital society where digital money is a new trend and it's a new thing, we're going to want to spend our digital money, right? We're going to want to spend our Bitcoin or Dogecoin or Litecoin or Ethereum, whatever coin that may be, whatever support AMP has in the future for the coin, it's going to be spendable. But the businesses, on the other hand, are not going to want to hold this in cryptocurrency. Why? Because cryptocurrency is a very volatile asset. It fluctuates in price quite a bit. We haven't got to a point where it's stable, unless there is a USD coin, like a US stable coin that is officially sponsored by the central banks themselves. That hasn't come out yet, so we haven't heard any word of that yet. After that press conference at Consensus, we haven't heard anything from there. But it's regulation. The feds could easily regulate Bitcoin and all the other cryptos to the ground and make it not viable to businesses that want to accept cryptocurrency. So that's where the Flexa network comes in, and they kind of do all that work for the businesses. They do all that work because the businesses don't have to worry about compliance. They don't have to worry like, oh my God, we have these Bitcoins on our balance sheet now, and then there's new regulations that we have to atone to, and we don't want to get in trouble. We don't want to get fined. And it's going to help the businesses out a lot more because they're going to generate revenues in ways that they could have not generated before, because now all of a sudden they're taking crypto payments, and that's just that's another form of pay. That's another way to have their services paid for, their products paid for, in a way that is unconventional, because it's not mainstream yet. But the bet is that when certain regulations come out, AMP will do what they have to and just atone to them and be compliant enough so that way businesses could be okay with being like, okay, we're going to pick up the Flexa network because everything is in place. And that's the reason why I invest in AMP. That's my personal philosophy. That's the reason why I believe it's a very, 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 very strong upsided token if it could get to a point where it's starting to be adapted by a big business. Because the second it's adapted by a big business, all other businesses will follow suit. And we see businesses hiring blockchain developers and people to mess around with the blockchain technology. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're developing something on their own. They can, but that process takes a very long time. And AMP is already on the market. So that's only good competition. That only means that that's even more reason to invest in AMP, because that means the business model is proven. It means that this is something that businesses actually want and they're willing to invest in if they're already hiring developers to try to develop something similar, even if it's proprietary for their own businesses. So that's really it. I think that we might be thinking about this wrong. I think the reason why we should heavily invest in AMP is solely because regulation. It's because businesses don't have to assume risks if they were to use the Flexa network, and it just makes sense for them to take cryptocurrency in a space where crypto is now the new talk of the town. It's becoming more and more likely as we go on to maybe see digital banking become a thing, maybe see digital wallets become an actual wallet where you will spend cryptocurrency from. And that whole space, that whole DeFi space is just growing at an incredibly fast rate. I mean, it's enough to be revolutionary at this point. It would be a very, very big transition to move away to the dollar into a digital currency, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be in that way. And just AMP provides that utility where it's like, okay, yeah, we're gonna accept your Bitcoin, but we're gonna get back USD. So it's just safe enough to allow businesses to use the technology and be comfortable with. And I think that's great. I think that's a very good thing for AMP. And if you were looking to invest in AMP and you weren't sure, you were on the fence about it, and you were watching this video, I'm not a financial advisor, by the way. This video is only for entertainment purposes. But I'm telling you my opinion, and that's the reason why I'm going to be adding more AMP to my position. I want a bigger position. If you look at my Flexa capacity, I have about 13.7k AMP here. And if we go over to my Gemini, I do have some AMP staked here, but I'm going to transfer it over because the APY on Flexa capacity is just way too good. I mean, I have a larger amount here and I'm making less money on Gemini Earn than I would if I just transferred it all over to Flexa capacity. And I'll be getting paid dividends. Well, it's like dividends. You will get little kickbacks from having our coins stored in their payment system, because it uses our actual stored coins within the system to increase the capacity at which they could take more and more transactions. So the more money that's in their system that we contribute every time a payment gets made, we're going to get the kickback back, and we're going to receive AMP coins for somebody using the actual network itself, which is really cool. So just imagine in the future where a bunch of people are using AMP coin every day, and they're using the Flexa capacity network to check out and get their products, and then you're gonna gain more and more money over time, because that only means that there's more money floating around the AMP network, and there's just more to be had and more to be shared. So that's cool. You want to be an early adopter of this stuff, and I think the risk is an appropriate amount of risk. The only big thing that would kill AMP, if there were any, is regulation. So that's all we got to look out for. But when the central bank talks about having a stable coin, that means regulation has to be favorable enough to allow things like AMP to exist. So that would only mean that it's going to be favorable regulation. I don't think that they're going to regulate it to the ground, because they want your tax revenue. Let's be honest. They want money from you, and the way to do that is to have favorable regulation so people could invest their money, so that way they could tax you at the end of the year. And that's really it. And I think this is something we should all look out for. And if you guys have any questions or comments about it, like, what's your reasoning for investing in AMP, put it down in the comments below. And if you are holding AMP, how much are you holding? And just let me know down in the comments. It'd be cool to see other people that hold AMP other than me. So that's it for this video. Really, it was just a quick update. I just wanted to throw out my philosophy out there. And guys, the support has been immense. My channel has been growing at a very surprising rate. Just a couple weeks ago, at 0 subscribers, started this channel fresh, and now we're at 85 subscribers. So I just like to thank all of you viewers, and keep on liking my content, because it motivates me to make more content as such. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'm the Student Investor. Stay investing. I'm out.